Happy energy, everybody. You know, I know I put a feeler out there about communicating and listening. So it's probably not going to be what you think. I'm not talking about communication with friends, family, relationships, and others. What I'm really talking about is inner dialogue, the communication we tell ourselves, and the listening if we really listen to ourselves. One segment I talked about two things within us, right? The ego and the spirit. Said sometimes we just have to learn to feed that spirit a little bit more than the ego. I learned through a lot of experience, especially this last month, about really listening to spirit. And the spirit is more like your gut, right? For my mystics out there, your solar plexus, your gut, your inner being, whatever you want to name it. For years, I would always battle and I would think when things happened, I said, yep, trust in my gut. And when things went to shit, said, damn it, I knew it. I should have listened to it. What I realized is a lot of times when things went to shit, it was that ego I was following, not my gut. And I think sometimes we have a hard time distinguishing between the two because the ego, I'm not going to lie, really feeds its lies. It doesn't pull those vulnerabilities out. It's like the ego would scream vulnerability is weakness, where the gut is telling you, oh man, listen, vulnerability is strength. So we travel down this path, of life, and we're always in that sense of never really feeling fulfilled, following the ego and not being inside the gut. And we're always find ourselves looking for more, right? It's because we're really not listening to who we truly are within ourselves. And we're really not getting in touch and talking to ourselves. I came to a pinnacle point in my life where I really said I need to stop listening to this ego because my being, my gut, spirit is sitting there in the corner saying, look at the tunnel you're going down. Let me drive for a little bit. What I really started doing was following my instinct, following my intuition, following my gut. And I started to think that sometimes we need to stop looking for more unless we're looking in the mirror. Because I think it's about time we clearly see that we're everything we're looking for. We always have this hole in our chest sometimes, and everybody always walks around with it. And I had conversations with people yesterday and today and a couple days ago, and it's like this big gaping hole. And it's like, why is it there? And I realized that we only get that feeling because we think we're not blessed with everything we need. Going back to gratitude, right? Just like you look, and it's like we live in a society which tells us we need to buy stuff. And the easiest way to tell us we need to buy it and sell it is that we're not enough without it. Buy this, rent this, live here, look like this, dress like this, you'll find happiness. And what I really came to believe is that the reason why they keep selling it is because we keep buying the lie that really we're not enough. We're always looking for something more. Looking at a playlist of movies that I used to watch over the years, and, you know, I'm never going to go down a path of politics on here, but it's like when you look at movies and fictional novels, and it's all these love stories, and we watch those and some people say, man, I love those love stories. But most of them speak to if he loves me, if she loves me, if I'm in a relationship with them, they complete me because I need them. And that's not true. One thing I take away from that is I do agree that love is the answer, right? And I think that if love is the answer and love is the key, but if we could never be enough, how can the person ever love me? Got me on a spiral down a rabbit hole that says, you think about growing up and you think about maybe experiences and conditioning and what you grew up around and what you were taught. And I would have questioned myself in the past and says, loving myself, what does that even mean? Does it mean what? Buying myself a new shirt, buying myself some kind of material thing, tanning, spa days, massages. I mean, what does that always mean? And most of the time we find that loving ourselves we confuse with selfishness. And really, loving ourselves is really the most selfless thing we can do because I can't love another if I don't love me. And what I've really learned and grown into and became awakened to was I can't fill your cup if mine's empty. And I had a person look at me and really open my eyes to a lot of things over the years. And it was a very close person to me and said, why am I constantly filling others' cups so diligently and treating mine so irresponsibly? And when I looked in the mirror, my voice to myself was very clear. You're skinny, underweight, you have imperfections on your face, you don't even wear the right clothes, you're not in the right style. And when this individual gave me a piece of advice, it completely changed my life. And one of the things he said to me, and I shared that with others, was he said, Dom, do me a favor. Treat yourself like somebody you loved. Treat yourself like somebody you loved in a relationship. Give them what you're giving you. Give you what you're giving them. And I had to take a pause because I really resonated with what he was saying. And I kept forgetting that shit, I'm the one I've been looking for. And I knew at that moment I needed to stop looking for more and look into my core, who I am, accept all my shadows, accept all my skeletons, because if I'm not accepting of it of my own, how could I ever expect anybody to accept me? And if I don't know what to do with myself, what in the holy fuck am I going to do with somebody else? So looking in the mirror, looking at my face, facing that fear while looking into the mirror, right? And I finally said to myself, you're enough. And I'm not special or more special than anyone. That's why I'm here to try to share with you that you are really enough. And I know talking to folks, even over this past week or last year, that they always had a question about how do they love themselves. And I keep telling them, keep in mind, you're who you've been looking for. And if you're like me, that had a path of relationship, no relationship, house, car, no cars, it was always looking to the external to fulfill my internal. But I really feel and believe to my core that nothing external could ever fill me internal except myself, and that I'm the one I'm looking for. It's like I spoke about the empty feeling, the hole in your chest. And I really did feel that I had that because I felt like I wasn't blessed. When I started really treating someone or treating myself like someone I loved, that's where things all came into alignment and balance. It's not saying you're selfish. You know, we all flew on an airplane, most of us on here, I'm sure. You can't put the oxygen mask on somebody else until you give yourself some oxygen. And again, it's be love, not do love. If we're here as spiritual beings, living a human experience, we got to be love and we got to be love. And the only way we can be love is if we're love to ourselves. So, with this, I hope I can give you a different direction away from any flaws you see in your reflection, that they aren't flaws, they're just simply protection of all the doubt you never faced. And you really are purely divine perfection. I challenge everybody to take a good long look in the mirror tonight, the morning, whenever you see this, and look at yourself in your eyes. Say, I love you. And follow that with one compliment, looking right in the mirror at yourself and give yourself a compliment. And I speak to this from experience because when I did that myself, and I had some others do it over the last week, they felt very uncomfortable doing it. When I did it myself, and the second exercise for me was to look at myself and give myself a compliment, I stared at myself like it was a lifetime. And I got very emotional and I couldn't think of one thing to say to me. Try that tonight. Try that in the morning. And if you're having some issues, you're having some problems, you're having some struggles, the only thing I can say is start loving yourself. I really felt a lot of people are feeling this right now. I really feel that these are things that folks don't speak to. But the only thing I can really tell you guys is you are enough, fucking perfect. Give yourself that love, give yourself that care. I'm going to do another episode on ways to improve your self love. And again, it's a work in progress every day for me. So might as well all do it together. And that's what the fuck Project 24 is to work on this together, do this together, go forward together, make it a better experience in this world for all of us. So send me your comments. Guys, I appreciate your support. Keep liking, following, sharing, spreading the word, spreading the love, being love, love yourself, lean forward, keep grinding, and more importantly, always keep doing you first. Love you guys. Much blessings, man.